please rise for the invocation. Let us pray. Father, we come to you today with the utmost gratitude. You have given us the opportunity to come together and safely celebrate such an important occasion in our lives. You have blessed us with the tools necessary for us students to prosper these past 4 years and set ourselves up for success in the future. We also thank you for providing us with the most engaging, supportive administration that worked tirelessly to keep our school in person and allowed our senior year to remain full of life and memories. I ask that we recall these memories, funny stories, exciting events, and laughter, all with a smile, and continue to cherish these shared memories as we go our separate ways. As the students standing on this stage look forward into the unknown, I pray that you provide us with the courage to take on whatever challenges life presents us with. Most of all, I would like to thank the Deerfield parents and grandparents. It is through their love and sacrifice that we are able to obtain these memories, skill sets, and education that will remain with us forever. Lastly, above all remembrance and education, I pray this class shines life's most important light, and that is faith in our Savior. In your holy name I pray, amen.
Although our class is the center of attention today, we have to admit that we did not make it here on our own. Whether we were inspired by a teacher, challenged by a coach, or even befriended by a member of this faculty and staff, our journey to this moment was not alone. It is my pleasure to introduce the Deerfield-Windsor school officials and guests for today's ceremony. Mr. Stephen Franklin Dew, Chairman of the Board of Trustees. Mr. Alan Samuel Levin, Head of School. Ms. Marie Benson Knight, Lower School Director. Ms. Lindsay Horton Cotter, Middle School Director. And Ms. Janet Daniels Gillebo, Upper School Director.
For many of our students, the dream of graduating with honors encourages them to choose a path directed by a strong, challenging curriculum. Today, we honor them for their sense of personal accomplishment in achieving this notable recognition. It is my pleasure to recognize the four-year honor graduates of the class of 2022. Please hold your applause until the entire group has been introduced. The four-year honor graduates in the class of 2022 are Evan Sherling Abbott, Braden Joshua Armstrong, Cale Thomas Banks, Leslie Ann Bonner, Bella Frances Brown, Catherine McCall Coley, Hannah Grace Davis, Carter James Dariso, John Kenneth Durham Jr., Kathy Elizabeth Goodpasture, William Burton Gray, Margaret Ansley Enlow, Bailey Gail Irvin, Aiden Donald Jordan, Tyler Scott Briggs, Stephen Andrew Seals Jr., Connor Allen Smith, Harrison Young Smith, Matthew Ross Stafford, George William Wiles IV, Carson K. Wilcox, and Virginia Grace Everett. given a minimum of 55 hours of volunteer service. However, some graduates have gone above and beyond to give back to others. The following graduates have documented 300 or more hours in volunteer service during their high school years. It is my pleasure to recognize the outstanding Noble Knights in service of the class of 2022. Please hold your applause until the entire group has been introduced. The outstanding Noble Knights in service in the class of 2022 are Braden Joshua Armstrong, Leslie Ann Bonner, Kathy Elizabeth Goodpasture, and Carson K. Wilcox.
Being a part of Beta Club is not only an academic recognition, but also a challenge to become aware of a student's social responsibility and service to our school and community. It is my honor to recognize the Beta Club graduates of the class of 2022. Please hold your applause until the entire group has been introduced. The Beta Club graduates in the class of 2022 are Evan Shirley Abbott, Braden Joshua Armstrong, Cale Thomas Banks, Leslie Ann Bonner, Catherine McCall Coley, Hannah Grace Davis, Carter James Dariso, John Kenneth Durham Jr., Virginia Grace Everett, Kathy Elizabeth Goodpasture, William Burton Gray, Margaret Ansley Enlow, Bailey Gale Irvin, Aiden Donald Jordan, Tyler Scott Riggs, Stephen Andrew Seals Jr., Connor Allen Smith, Harrison Young Smith, Matthew Ross Stafford, Carson K. Wilcox, and Bella Francis Brown.
Good afternoon, friends, family, Deerfield-Windsor faculty, and most excitingly, my fellow class of 2022. When I found out I had the honor to speak today, I was ecstatic. However, I quickly realized I had too much I wanted to say. So I narrowed it down to the most important answer to the question, why am I up here today? I'm up here because of the support from teachers, administrators, and faculty over the past 14 years of my life. In fact, that is why we are all up here today. As I started thinking of these leaders in my life, I quickly realized what made their impact so profound. Yes, I'm on this stage because our administration kept all our grades and records in order. And yes, I'm on this stage because our teachers poured academic knowledge into me. But those are not the true reasons for their crucial impact on my life. In order to see the real reason, I began to think about their actions. To our elementary school teachers, you all started this. 5 of us up here owe a big thank you to our Lake Park teachers, but this gratitude extends to all of the elementary school teachers at all of our different schools. Y'all loved us as we showed you tricks on the playground, needed help tying our shoes, and began to comprehend the big world we live in. Y'all congratulated us when we learned the now seemingly simple skills so that we would begin to understand what success felt like. And y'all challenged us to begin reaching goals, even if they were the annoying AR point goals, To our middle school teachers, you'll continue to instill our academic drive while dealing with us at our peak level of annoyance, and it did not go unnoticed. Ms. Neal taught us the importance of extra credit projects, even if they took hours, like paper macheing a piñata. Ms. Stewart taught us to not care about what others thought and never lose our imagination in what will go down in school history as the best improv class ever. And you all began to teach us the importance of studying, even if it took a while for us to catch on. To our administration, the little things y'all do every day to make the school a community have boosted us on our lowest days to get us on this stage today. Just a few examples. I cannot think of a single one of you who does not have candy in your office for a pick-me-up after a bad day. Coach Lowe greets us in the hallways and attends as many of our events as he can. Miss Broadway is basically our school mom, and we would not be here if she had not let our parents drop off all the forgotten items in her office. Miss Donna encouraged every single one of us to make good choices more times than I can count, and she led this graduating group of girls in a Bible study that helped us get through the dreadful junior year. And the list could go on because every single one of you has made us feel at home in this community through your actions. To our high school teachers, you completed the task of getting us up here today. You taught us more than most of us wish we knew, but you encouraged us the whole way. Looking back from Miss Miller telling us to stop stressing we would get into college every day, to Dr. Campbell reading "Oh, the Places You'll Go" to us on our last day of his class, from our nightlife leaders teaching us valuable life lessons, and Miss Allen coming out of retirement and reading any and every essay we needed help with, and everything in between. It is clear there has been no lack of support from our Deerfield teachers. In reflection, I could sum up what has defined the role of these leaders in my life in one quote: don't underestimate the big importance of small things. This quote is what the teachers in this community have lived out to shape the lives of us all. Thank y'all for treating us with such kindness and support. We would not be here today ready to go to college without it. Finally, I challenge my fellow graduates to learn from their example. And as we start our new path, commit to the small things that make our new schools a true community like the one we have been blessed to be a part of here. That will create the success in all aspects of our journey, just like it has done these past 14 years. Thank you.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm on a bit of a time crunch, so let me get started. This school, these halls, and the people on the stage behind me have meant so much to me these past 14 years. So, to honor them, I wanted to take this time to show you the memories that I know from them so well by calling all the seniors in the stands as we did during the rallies. This is my chance to shine light on the friendships and memories these people have given me over the years. Here we go. To start, I actually need to take you all back to preschool at Covenant. Garrett, Wright, and Ansley, y'all have been with me since the start. And those group birthday parties we had, in my mind, were the most exclusive and star-studded event you can be invited to. And Wright, thank you for all my nicknames over the years. Will Gray, I've known you forever. I'm still absolutely terrified of your neighbor's dog, but basketball games in your alley were some of my best childhood memories. Andrew, even though it took you forever to finally come to Deerfield to make the right choice, I want to thank you for your friendship over these last 16 years. Eat some more Russian spaghetti and some Chef Boyardee in college. Being an Auburn fan in Georgia is hard, but we made it work. In third grade, I got my first bite. Well, to be clear, I was on the ground after one shove, sure I was dying, while Will Plowden stood up for me. Plowden, you were the coolest guy in school that day, and I know you will always have everyone's back. In fourth grade, Michael came to school. Michael, to be honest, the first time I met you, I thought you were someone's little brother. But your presence, just like the one you command the stage with, made me instantly know this guy was going to be one interesting person in high school. I expect to see you on Broadway soon. Connor also came in 4th grade. Connor, I knew you were going to be one of my good friends from the start, since you started talking about college football, and your dad breaking his phone over a college football game. I've never met someone with as much passion for sports as you, and I respect it. In 5th grade, I became friends with Turner Mulford, and we have not looked back. I broke a golf club over his back, he broke his phone on my face, and we have fought multiple times on federal property. I guess that made us best friends. I'm gonna miss you. 5th grade for Kason Roberts. The DLN 5 News show of 5th grade was for sure Kason's best performance in front of an audience, and is by far my favorite YouTube video. Getting you trying to read the weather is the funniest thing on the internet. I would say more about Kason, but we'd probably have to do the homecoming video again. Now in middle school. What a time. Bailey. Our friendship started rather interestingly, and I'm still mad you rejected me in 6th grade. But we've kept it going all this time, and I can't wait for 4 more years together. War Eagle. In the middle of 7th grade, around November, I passed Leslie in the hallway. She gave me a nonchalant "hey," to which I asked her if she still went to school here. She won't let me forget it, even if I saw her every day for the next 5 years. Carson Wilcox is in some of my funniest memories from middle school. Not only did she get stuck in a baby swing, tried to poison Coach Davis, but she also holds the title for worst basketball shot I've ever seen. And I have had a lot of bad shots in this arena. Carson, you've always kept me laughing. Thank you. Now on to high school. The years that made us who we are. Aiden and Abby, I don't think y'all's humor is appreciated. You two are definitely the funniest people in our grade, and the teachers never realized how often y'all joked around the class. They did. Braden, all I'm gonna say is Rat Pack forever. The best trip I've ever been on. Also, your mom has been crying the whole time. About 2 weeks ago, I got yelled at for mixing up McCall and Bella, even though I've known them literally my whole life. McCall and Bella, y'all are the exact same person for so long. And even though you are similar, each of you now has a great and unique personality. Let it shine in college, and I'm sure I'll see you both in Athens. If I was ever tired during the morning drive to high school, Wig's truck certainly woke me up. It is by far the loudest car I've ever heard, and Carl, it reflects your personality well. Hannah, you always seem to mess with me during yearbook, which is probably why we had absolutely no idea what we were doing in class. I expect many more pranks every time you visit Auburn. Anna Lane, Caroline, and Katie, y'all are straight up crazy. However, your craziness is what makes you great to be around. I'm sure your chaotic personalities will thrive as you head far away from home to college. Ashton, I have seen you more at Target than I have at school. But you are one of the best guys to be around. If you ever want to play phone games, let me know. Matt and Evan, cross country was awesome. Matt, we probably made the team worse by playing home run derby in the woods instead of actually running for 2 years. Evan, me and you saved the team, and I'm sure of it. Will Foy and Tyron, I've loved basketball with y'all. I thought Will Foy was the coolest person on the planet when he went viral at the Hawks game. That is what I'm talking about. And Tyron, I will be tuning in to see you finally dunk on someone next year. I'm sure I've taught you everything you know. Kale, we would not have gotten anything done in study hall if it wasn't for Ansley. To be honest, we probably would have failed junior year. I'm always down to go to Outback or listen to the Beach Boys if you want. Will Wiles and John, Raccoon Holiday is for sure the best band I'll ever be a part of. We've made some great memories together, but I will forever be tired of playing with Mary Jane's Last Dance. Drummers are people too. Custer, what a guy. Our hitchhiking during spring break was a lot of fun and truly encompasses the friendship we've made over these last few years. Thank you for Big Rig. Speaking of spring break, Bo Bennett made me feel as angry as John Durham during middle school dodgeball. If you want the story of me not being able to fall asleep until 5 a.m., ask John, Bo, or Turner. Carter, to be honest, I have loved getting to make fun of you for these past 14 years. over and over as you continually mess with me about any time I do something wrong because I'm, quote, too smart for that. I don't know if we're going to survive college. Virginia, you are one of the most well-rounded people I know. Fun fact about Virginia, she's an avid groundhog enthusiast and has been one of my good friends. And Harrison, you're smarter than me. I said it. Thank you for your friendship and for your competitiveness. It pushed me to be my best. I'm sure you're about to get up here and say some pop culture reference that I don't understand at all, but it fits your personality perfectly. And there it is, 36 classmates. I hope you all have seen the impact these people have had on me and the impact I have hoped to have had on them. To the seniors, for the past year, we have chanted, "We are the seniors and we want more" at pep rallies. Soon, after we walk across this stage, we will sing a new verse. "We are the Knights and we want more." And as Ms. Donna, who is bawling right now, has always said, never forget who you are and whose you are. You are all Knights, through and through, forever. And I hope that you want more. More memories like these, more friendships like these, in a community like DWS, and whatever challenges life throws at each and every one of you. Thank you.
That one's going to be hard to top. Okay. Good afternoon, friends, family, and faculty. Today is a momentous day in the lives of 37 individuals and their families. As Elle Woods once said, she's from Legally Blonde, Tyler, when speaking to her graduating class at Harvard Law, we did it. And while Deerfield is almost as hard as Harvard, every single one of us up here has accomplished something that not every American can say they have. We graduated high school. That in itself is a huge accomplishment. There are many times that my friends, me included, did not think that we would make it to this day. Sitting in class in second grade in 2012, I thought, we graduate in 10 years. That's so far away. Now here we are, May 15th, 2022, the day we become adults, or so our parents hope we do. Figuring out what to write in the speech was a daunting task. I was told I needed to make it funny, but also serious. Address my classmates, but also talk about myself and my family. Keep it lighthearted, but also make it profound and inspirational. And keep it short and sweet, but also go into detail. And I don't know about y'all, but I know William Shakespeare. If I incorporated everyone's suggestions into the speech, we'd be here until next graduation. For my speech, I thought the theme should be based on something that I know well, so I immediately ruled out the sports analogy. Anyone who knows me knows that history is my favorite subject, and I believe that we can learn a lot from the study of history. Dr. Clausen once taught me that history is not just about memorizing facts that happened years ago, but rather it's about learning the past to better understand the present, which can be used to shape the future. Therefore, I think we can apply the study of history to ourselves. The things we have experienced throughout our past 4 years have made us who we are today. And we will take with us what we have learned into our next stage of life. Everyone in this room has made decisions and gone through experiences that have shaped them into the person they are today. I am no exception. I have learned many lessons throughout my last 4 years. For instance, I found out it's probably not a good idea to drink a cup of coffee, then eat Chick-fil-A, then drink a Coke before taking a test. I also advise against signing up for 5 AP classes and applying to 10 colleges, all while doing multiple extracurricular activities. I think I slept more on the tennis bus this year than my actual bed. All of these small ordeals have added to my character and my stress and taught me lessons that will better guide me in the future. However, there are 3 important things that I discovered while in high school that will forever shape who I am today and I will take with me throughout my life. These realizations did not come to me in a light bulb moment, but rather they were something that I learned over the years that I have finally come to understand and appreciate. Most of the people up here on the stage can probably relate to these points too, because we share a lot of the same experiences as a class together. The first point is that failures can lead to future successes. We all have experienced failures of some kind. Either we did not get where we wanted to in a class or in a sport, but that failure should motivate us to try again and push ourselves harder. Failure is what allowed me to stand up here today and give the valediction. And some of you might say, how is this a failure? It's obviously a success becoming valedictorian. And to that I say, yes, I did achieve a long-term goal of mine, but I did not achieve it without many failures. Sometimes it's the little unnoticed failures that push us to become better. In fact, my main college essay that I wrote was about someone that, even though he might not know it, pushed me to achieve my goals, because without Tyler Ricks, there is no way I'd be standing up here today. Everyone up here has faced challenges and failures, but we have all learned something from them. Secondly, it is important to be true to yourself. Nowadays, it can definitely be harder to be yourself because our generation has something that our parents did not: social media. Looks are everything in today's world, and it's definitely difficult to be yourself when there are so many expectations and standards we are pressured to live up to. The last few years, I've tried to start doing things that I wanted to rather than what people thought I should do, and I have become a lot happier because of it. If you let society dictate to you what is right and what is wrong, what is good and what is bad, and what you should and should not do, you'll never be happy because you'll end up living for other people instead of living for yourself. I think that is something that a lot of us up here have learned over the years, and something that we can definitely take with us to college. Lastly, and probably most importantly to me, your friends can become your family. When I was younger, I used to think that a best friend was someone who was supposed to hang out with you all the time and make you laugh. And while these are definitely good attributes to have, they are not what constitute a good friend. Being one of the smallest grades at Deerfield, our class has grown very close to one another, and we have all developed friendships that feel more like family. Over the last few years, I have made friendships that will last a lifetime. And I learned that a true friend is someone who will stick by your side no matter what, whether you are your best or your worst. Some of the people behind me today have arguably shaped my life as much as my family. Next year will be hard for me because not only am I leaving my actual family, but I'm leaving my school family as well. By the fall, we will all go our separate ways, but we will all be one family, bound together for life. American novelist Pearl S. Buck once said, "If you want to understand today, you have to search yesterday," when describing the importance of history. This is true for us 37 graduates. The people we are today have been shaped by the last 14 years of our lives. From the failures we have faced, to the teachers that have taught us, to the friendships we have built, to the families that have raised us. This is all stuff we can carry with us into our futures. So one day when we are all successful in making millions of dollars, we can look back at our past and witness how much the last several years have molded us. Thank you.
That's a small sampling of the class of 2022. Each one of these is extraordinary in their own right. One thing I want to just say briefly to this class, because over the course of time, we all talk about experience, gets you where you make better decisions and do all this, but I want to talk about the other side of the coin. There's a motivational speaker named John Gordon who spends time going to companies. And he spent a lot of time going to these companies, and one thing he started seeing is that the rookies were winning a higher percentage of the awards than the ones with the experience. Because when you start something new and fresh, you have a clarity of optimism that you can't ever lose if you keep it. Because he talks about a curse of experience if you don't maintain the clarity of optimism. As you go y'all separate ways in colleges, you'll get one chance to make good first impressions. If you do it with a clarity of optimism, it'll keep you away from the clouds of doubt. And there's a reason why it's called clouds of doubt, because it hurts your vision. You can't see clearly. So as you go off to college, right now you're going to be passing on experience to the classes that come behind you here, but you've got an opportunity right now in the next 6 months to make your mark, because you're going to do it with the brashness and the energy that optimism can create. And then future successes can lie in maintaining that. I challenge y'all to push yourselves, not just to be a part of where you go, but to be a huge effect on others around you. I'm proud of all of y'all. Thank y'all for all you've done. We're going to push through. I told you I was going to be brief. So there you go. But give me a round of applause for the class of 2022. There are some people we would like to thank for their contribution today. Beverly Emmett and Noel Peterson kind of led the setup on everything we've been doing. But we also have some junior class ushers down here. I'm going to get them to stand. Y'all hold your applause to the end. I want to thank them today. Ben Hatcher, Aaron Johnson, Ethan Johnson, Herschel Joshi, Thomas Ray, Caroline Tennyson, Emily Tennyson, Lowry Walden, and Lydia Wiggins. Thank y'all for helping us out today. Many of our graduates have been a part of the Deerfield family since their kindergarten year. Today, we'd like to recognize those students who helped create the bonds of community and family as they travel together to this moment that commemorates the end of their time at Deerfield-Windsor School. I would like to recognize the 24 graduates who have been with us from their educational beginnings by asking them to please stand. Eight members of this year's senior class are children of Deerfield-Windsor School alumni. At this time, I would ask that these graduates of Deerfield-Windsor alumni and their parents, if you would please also stand. So the graduates and their parents. They have made mention up here about some of them, but at the end of the day, we call it all nights. This year's graduating class will increase our alumni to 2,860. And they will become part of a family that they'll cherish the moments to be able to come back and see their friends. We are proud of that number. A couple other announcements before we get to some awards. At the end of today's ceremony, if y'all would please, after the graduates leave, we're going to get the families to go out next, if y'all can stay seated, so that they can go to the Grace Gym to get a family portrait done, if they would so wish, but we're going to let them out first. So if you'll please just stay seated till we get all the families out, we would appreciate it. Also at this time, we have some people that are retiring and moving on, but this year we've got a few people I would like to mention for their longevity. We have two individuals with us that have spent over 20 years in their love of Deerfield, and it's going to continue on because their love will continue. But we do appreciate the longevity, what they have meant to this school, and at this time, if Dot Knapp and Irene Mitchell would please stand for their length of service here. We have another individual who has walked the halls for over 30 years. She has done it in many roles, from teacher to administrator. In the last years, she's been the upper school principal, upper school director. And as she's getting ready to come up in a little bit, but we are so thankful for all that Janet Gillibo has done for the school, and we want to honor her. So, Ms. Gillibo, if you'll come on up and join me. The valedictorian is the senior who has the highest grade point average after completing the 4 years of high school. Today, we are honored to recognize the valedictorian for the class of 2022, Harrison Young Smith. The salutatorian is the senior who has the second highest grade point average after completing the 4 years of high school. Today, we are honored to recognize the co-salutatorians for the class of 2022, Leslie Ann Bonner and Tyler Scott Ricks. We are proud today to recognize 6 gifted seniors for outstanding academic achievement. These students will receive awards that exemplify each recipient's outstanding area of achievement for their 4 years of high school. Each senior will receive a certificate and a check for $100. As I call your name, please come forward to receive your award. For many years, Mr. and Mrs. David Tennyson and their family have sponsored an award recognizing a graduating senior who has achieved excellence in artistic expression and creative talent. The 2022 Tennyson Award for Outstanding Academic Achievement in Art is presented to Abigail Leichenbach. For many years, Synovus Bank has graciously sponsored the Senior Awards for Outstanding Academic Achievement in 5 academic areas. The 2022 recipients are, and hold your applause to the end, in English, Aiden Donald Jordan. In mathematics, Tyler Scott Ricks. In science, Leslie Ann Bonner. In social studies, Harrison Young Smith. And in world languages, Virginia Grace Everett. Thank you again for your hard work and dedication you have given at Deerfield-Windsor School. Congratulations. The next 3 prestigious honors have been awarded to Deerfield-Windsor seniors for many years. This year's recipients have exemplified the tenets of the Deerfield-Windsor mission that seeks to instill a passion for learning, a sense of social responsibility, and a commitment to personal integrity. The Graham P. Lowe Award is presented each year to the student who best demonstrates high academic achievement, qualities of leadership and character, and a spirit of cooperation. This year's recipient is Tyler Scott Ricks. The Russell L. Grace Jr. Service Award is presented to a member of the senior class who has made outstanding contributions in many areas of school life, has participated in extracurricular activities, and has demonstrated exemplary spirit in school events. The recipient is someone who has shown a genuine interest in Deerfield-Windsor School and in people. This year's recipient is Margaret Ansley Inlow. The W.T. Henry Knight of Valor Award honors a student who has reflected a positive attitude, moral fortitude, and a sense of dignity. The student who qualifies for this award must have been enrolled in Deerfield-Windsor for the 4 years of high school and have exhibited a special spirit toward the Deerfield-Windsor community. This year's recipient is Braden Joshua Armstrong. Congratulations, Tyler, Ansley, and Braden for going above and beyond to help make Deerfield-Windsor a school of excellence and contributing your efforts to create a sense of family in your years with us. We wish you success.
The class of 2022 has 37 members. Some of us began our years at Deerfield-Windsor at the lower school, while some started in middle school and even in high school. Regardless of when we enrolled at Deerfield, this senior class resembles a close-knit family. Deerfield-Windsor is not only a place where students can develop a strong educational foundation, but is also a place in which students can build relationships that last a lifetime. Our teachers ensure that we are equipped with all of the essential tools that are required for future success in college. The relationships we make as students with each other teach us to be responsible adults, share ideas, and learn from each other. With the majority of our time and focus being on our rigorous curriculum, as students, we seek every opportunity for fellowship when we have time available. Speaking on behalf of the senior class, some of my fondest memories this year have been made in spaces where we were able to gather outside of our academics. The class of 2022 depended on environments such as the senior lounge, courtyard, and the design lab to make core memories and develop friendships that will last us a lifetime. The environments outside the classroom have strengthened our relationships with one another and eventually led to the bond of our class. We hope that our gift will benefit future grades by adding additional opportunities to get to know one another and thrive as Deerfield-Windsor students. On behalf of the class of 2022, it is my honor and privilege to present our school with the plans and foundation for an outdoor fellowship area. This space will include a shade sail with picnic tables that can be utilized by grades 6 through 12 during flex times, class times, and lunch. Thank you, Deerfield, for all the wonderful memories our class has made throughout the years and gay nights.
Each year, the faculty speaker is voted on by the senior class. It is no shock that this year's speaker has touched the lives of every senior on stage today in some shape or form. Whether students have taken his infamous AP government class or have decided to run cross country or track for him, he has a unique opportunity to influence every student that walks through Deerfield-Windsor. Not only is he known for impacting all of our lives, his achievements he has made thus far as a teacher and as a coach cannot go unnoticed. His pass rate for students taking the AP government exam is time and time again nearly flawless. He has coached 2 cross-country state championship teams, 2 track state championship teams, 9 region championship cross-country teams, and many all-state athletes. Through his many accomplishments and commitment towards all he does, it is evident how much he truly cares for his students, athletes, and the entire Deerfield-Windsor community. As a runner that has been coached by him for 5 years now, I've realized his passion to battle, suffer, surmount all odds, and ultimately succeed drives him in all of his endeavors. Whether you're a runner that he is forced to endure the workouts we call Antietam or the gauntlet, or you're the student that he's told to stop it and pay attention, we've all witnessed his desire to motivate his students and athletes to reach their fullest potential. Now, it is my honor to introduce the 2022 Deerfield-Windsor graduation ceremony speaker, Coach Jake Clausen.
Turning this around so I can keep an eye on Bo Bennett. Make sure he's paying attention. When Miss Inman emailed me on April 22nd and told me that y'all had voted for me to give this talk, my first reaction was to demand a recount. I wondered if there was, voter fraud or ballot harvesting or dead people voting. I didn't know what happened. But nonetheless, here I am. The truth is, I've always worried I'd be asked to give one of these. And it's not because I'm afraid of speaking in front of people. I do that every day. I get paid to do it. I've always been reticent to give a commencement address because I don't feel like I'm qualified. I'm only 34 years old. I've only taught for 7 years. My first year was when you guys were in 6th grade. I've only had a kid for a little over a year, so I've never been responsible for anyone but myself. And with him, I'm still working on. I don't think I've done anything particularly interesting. I don't know if I have any sage advice to give to you. For some of you guys, I'm closer to being your age than I am to being your parents' age. And I've said that out in the hall, and it made some of the parents kind of mad, but it is true. I'm not old yet. But it wasn't that long ago that I was sitting where you guys are right now. So to that point, because you've given me this honor, I'm going to share with you what I've learned in the 16 years since I graduated from high school, and I hope to give you some guidance moving forward. This is important because while I think that people have the tendency to treat graduations as a time to look back and reflect on what you've done, we call these events commencement ceremonies for a reason. While everything you've accomplished certainly matters and warrants praise, now's the time to look ahead. So, the first thing I think you need to understand, the first thing that I learned after I graduated high school, is that you are not owed anything. All right? And it sounds mean, but I mean this in the nicest way possible. You're one of the most impressive classes to ever come through this school. Academically, athletically, and artistically, you're some of the brightest, some of the most interesting, and some of the most talented people that I've ever met. Okay? The bad news about that is the world that you're going into won't care about any of that. And you should understand and accept there will be times going forward when sometimes you will fail. You will not get what you want. And this isn't necessarily a bad thing. I've failed plenty of times in my life. In 2015, when I was finishing up at Auburn, and I was looking for teaching jobs, I applied to 52 schools. 51 of them turned me down. Failing those 51 times is one of the best things to ever happen to me. And because I got turned down those 51 times, I was able to teach you guys and to be here talking to you today. I've coached teams in 7 state cross-country meets. We've only won twice. Those 2 wins mean more because of the other times we didn't win. I've run 61 5Ks in my life. I've only won once. And I only won that one because I told John that he couldn't run. All right? As a historian, I've submitted countless articles to journals for review, and I've been turned down. All right? I was never owed anything, and I failed. And as painful as that can be, I couldn't be happier for it. Success doesn't mean anything if there's no chance of losing. Remember this going forward. There will be times in the future when you don't get the internship you applied for, you don't get into the graduate school that you dreamed about, or you may not get the job that you want. The world won't care about what plan you have for yourself, but if you use everything you've learned here and you show persistence, you're going to thrive. And this brings me to my second point. You might experience failure, but knowing you guys, you're still going to see plenty of success as well, so don't forget to enjoy it. Enjoying yourself has become something I think of a lost art. According to the World Happiness Report, and I promise that's an actual thing that's measured by the Gallup poll, I promise I'm not making it up, Americans today are 13% less happy than they were 10 years ago. Another poll by NBC found that only 14% of American adults, which you guys are after today, said they're very happy. And even looking at kids your age, the numbers are even worse. About 1 in 3 teenagers experience some type of anxiety. Now, to some degree, I find this very strange. You live in a world where you can have almost anything that you want. But on the other hand, people your age deal with no shortage of challenges. You've dealt with a pandemic that disrupted your education, and all y'all were in my class when it happened in March of 2020. You deal with the constant presence of social media. And then in the past year, you guys have had to navigate a competitive college admissions process that was probably more competitive than any other. More has been put on you and expected of you than any other graduating class. And in spite of all this, you guys have been incredibly successful. You've gotten into the best schools, you've shined in athletics, and you've excelled in the arts. You volunteered countless hours of your time, and you looked out for one another's well-being. You have so much to be proud of, and you should enjoy your accomplishments. Moreover, during the next 4 years and even after that, things won't get easier. College will be challenging, and so will the job market that you're gonna enter after that. You won't be universally successful, and you will experience some setbacks. But knowing what I know of each of you, you'll find plenty of success, even if it won't come easy. When you do that, don't be afraid to be proud of yourself and to enjoy what you've accomplished. And finally, never forget the obligations that you have to other people. You live in a world that privileges individualism and attention seeking. When y'all show me TikToks, I see it every time, all right? Instagram too. You're taught that whatever makes you happy is inherently good, regardless of the consequences. This is reinforced in our culture, from politics to social media and nearly everywhere in between. You should remember, however, and I would challenge you to remember, that the world isn't just made up of individuals who are disconnected from one another. We all have countless responsibilities to other people, and those obligations make life worth living. I'm a dad and a husband. I value that very much. But after that, one of the most important and fulfilling obligations I've had was teaching each one of you. Whether I was teaching you about government, about how to be a good citizen, or if I was your coach and I was making you run, I always took seriously the idea that I was responsible for you and that you deserve my time and attention because you were my students. I think that I speak for all of my colleagues sitting out there when I say that giving you our time is incredibly meaningful and has value beyond what we're paid. It takes effort, but it's an absolute joy. As I watch you all mature, I think that you already understand the importance of upholding your obligations to other people. As a class, you've always supported and cared for one another, and I've been impressed by your sense of community. When you leave here, you'll join new communities and you'll meet new people, but don't forget to give more to other people in your community than you take. Part of our mission at this school is to instill in each of you a sense of social responsibility. You've earned an excellent education, and many of you are going to continue your education at elite institutions. This is a reward, but it's also a challenge. Don't forget that. Use what you've learned here to do something that's worth doing. Give back to people who are less fortunate than you. Invest your time and energy in other people, regardless of whether you think you'll get anything back from it. Pursue interests that work for the common good. Give back to and invest in your community. And if you feel compelled to, even after you leave here, give back to both your school community and to the greater Albany community. This community has invested in you to get you to where you are, so always bear that in mind. I don't pretend to have all the answers today of what you're going to confront in the future and what you're going to face, and no one can predict what you're going to encounter once you leave here. But don't forget that you're prepared and that everyone here is incredibly proud of you.
Because we realize this accomplishment is a result of hard work and support from the students' families, we invite family members of each graduate to stand and be recognized as the graduate's name is called. Polite applause is in order, but we ask the audience to please help us maintain the dignity of the ceremony and the importance of this milestone. Class of 2022, prepare to receive your diplomas. Matthew Ross Stafford. Carson K. Wilcox. Margaret Ansley Inlow. Abigail Blackenball. William Sumner Plowden. John Kenneth Durham Jr. Tyler Scott Riggs. Harrison Young Smith. Leslie Ann Bonner. George William Wiles IV. Barnett Cook Bennett. William Burton Gray. Carl Edwin Wiggins III. Virginia Grace Everett. Michael Andrew Mikas. Carter James Garrison. Evan Shirley Abbott. Anna Lane Pierce. Stephen Andrew Seals, Jr. Braden Joshua Armstrong. Donald Wright Strickland. Bailey Gale Irvin. William Randall Foy. Kason Law Roberts. Bella Francis Brown. Aiden Donald Jordan. Connor Allen Smith. William Garrett Watson. William Vance Marone Custer. Cale Thomas Banks. Philip Turner Mulford. Tyron Isaiah LeBeau. Caroline Elizabeth Matos. Catherine McCall Coley. Kathy Elizabeth Goodpasture. Ashton K. Fox. Hannah Grace Davis. The faculty and administration of Deerfield-Windsor School hereby present these students as having completed the prescribed curriculum and recommend them to you for graduation.
By the authority vested in me by the Deerfield-Windsor School Board of Trustees, I hereby pronounce each of you graduates of Deerfield-Windsor School. Our hope for every graduation privilege and congratulations.
Please rise for the benediction. Bow your heads with me. Dear Lord, thank you for allowing us to gather here today for our final time in this place full of memories. Now, we pray that you would allow us to go out into the world and fulfill your great commission for our lives, and embolden us in your purpose and discipleship wherever you lead our paths. Allow us to go forth with your strength, love, wisdom, and kindness, so we may bring others closer to you. Allow us to go forth with the knowledge bestowed upon us and the dreams which illuminate our paths into this world. Finally, as this chapter in our lives closes, I thank you for everyone who made it such a success. It is the faculty, staff, parents, and grandparents that helped us get to this culmination of our accomplishments. As we leave this place, bless those who are graduating and those who have supported them along the way. In your almighty name we pray. Amen. Please be seated and remain seated until all graduates have exited. Families on the floor will then be directed to exit by rows. Thank you.